DC, and we're going to talk about this episode, y'all. What the heck is going on with Monique? Is it just me, or is she being extra harsh on Chris? Personally, I don't really understand what she's talking about. She just keeps talking about she needs more depth from him. She needs him to open up. He's like, I am opening up. What more do you want from me? He's like, I am being vulnerable. She said, well, just because you trying and think you being vulnerable, if it's not what I'm expecting, then it doesn't count. He's like, well, what do you want? I'm like, Chris, I need some examples, Monique. Can you please tell me about what you need Chris to do to be more vulnerable? Because I'm kind of lost too. Because I'm like, y'all been married for 10 years. What more do you need to know about the man? What don't you know about him after 10 years that you need him to open up more and tell you something about him? She's like, your walls are up, Chris. And he's like, well, your walls are up too. And she said, well, you're supposed to knock my walls down. So I'm like, wait a minute, Monique. He's supposed to take his walls down and knock your walls down. Then what are you doing? Are you supposed to knock his walls down too? So if you're supposed to knock his walls down, then is it your fault that his walls are up? Because you blaming him that your walls are up. I am so confused. Honestly, I think this is all about this show. I think this sounds like some producer stuff. Bring your walls down. This sounds like some producer stuff saying, Chris needs to bring his walls down and open up more and tell more about himself so he's more fun and interesting on this show. It seems like Monique is mimicking some producers. I think that she's so worried that they're going to come off boring on this show. They keep thinking that Chris needs to open up more and more and tell more secrets to make the show more salacious and interesting. She coming from this reality TV world, and she thinks there always needs to be drama or something. And so she's telling Chris he needs to bring more drama. That's what I really think this is about. The problem is that ain't Chris. Chris ain't no Hollywood guy. He's not no drama guy. You know, she's trying to turn him into somebody that he's not even. Monique, you're the more outgoing person. You're the one that has the more bubbly personality. You're the more reality TV star. That's not Chris's world. He was what? Was he a linebacker? What was Chris? Offensive lineman? I don't know. That's really not his world. It sounds like she's trying to get a different personality out of Chris. So he'll be this person on the TV show and the ratings will be great. But that's not who Chris is. So he was good enough to marry, but all of a sudden now he ain't good enough. He don't open up enough for this television show. That to me, it sounds like more what Monique is getting at. Chris is like, listen, I've been the same man since we've been married for 10 years. I can't change for no reality TV show. Men are simple, and Chris is like, I am simple. It's us women who are more dynamic. We change every 2 to 3 years. Monique talking about, hey, you know what? I thought on this Africa trip, it would have been an aha moment and we would have been on this spiritual journey. Well, first of all, when you go to Africa, it's an adventure trip. I've been to Africa a couple of times, and I've been to Kenya and I've been to South Africa. And let me tell you, those trips are safaris. They're adventure trips. Actually, it's not always relaxing because you're so stimulated. You out here on safaris looking at lions, and you out here looking at all these wild animals, zebras, and all these wild animals. You are stimulated. You're just in awe. You're in amazement. You're not out there relaxing when you're in the middle of a safari with lions all around you and giraffes, and you watching the hunt and kill and hyenas. That's not where you're going for a spiritual journey, especially not with no 3 kids. And then Monique was talking about the trip was jam-packed. Well, I don't understand, Monique. You planned an adventure trip on a safari to Africa. You jam-packed the schedule. You took 3 kids. And you're wondering why there was no time to relax and have an aha moment and talk about your relationship. You should have booked a trip to Bali or Thailand if that's what you want to do. You booked the wrong trip, and you shouldn't have taken your 3 kids if that's the kind of conversations you want to have. When you take kids on a vacation, you don't get no time for you and your husband. You're too busy taking care of the kids. Doesn't everybody know that? Africa is a safari. Africa is an adventure trip. It is so much fun. Everybody should go. It's such an experience. But you're not sitting out there in the Serengeti in the wild, you know, peaceful with 3 kids around and animals all around. It's adventure. You are stimulated. So to be honest with you, I'm just confused with what Monique wants. I don't know what she wants from Chris. To be honest with you, I think it's all centered around her trying to put on a good show for this reality TV show. And she wants Chris to open up and be more popping or something like that. But that ain't the husband you married. He's not, and that's actually why a lot of people like Chris, is because he's just calm natured. And she wants some turn up guy who's going to bring some drama to the conversation and make it interesting. And I just don't think that's who he is. But it actually doesn't mean that I don't like watching him. We don't need that all the time. In fact, I actually like the show. I think that the other couples are doing a lot to help carry the show. I don't think Monique needs to feel like it's all on her back, because all the other couples, I actually like them. I even like the conversation that Winter brings to the table, because they're actually having some real conversations, like that conversation that Ashley or Ronna had, or whoever it was, talking about I'm not checking up on my man to see if he's cheating. I know a lot of people taking that as they're talking about a don't ask, don't tell type of marriage. No, that's not how I took it as a married woman. As a married woman, I took it as I'm not spending all my time checking DMs, checking to see which women like my husband's pictures on Instagram, checking to see what pictures he liked on Instagram. I'm not spending all my time doing that. If it comes to my front door, then yes, I'll address it and I'll look into it. But you think I'm spending my time and living my life running behind my husband, checking to see what he's doing, checking to see who's DMing him, checking to see whose pictures he likes? Who wants to live a life like that in complete paranoia all the time? I'm with Ashley and Arana. I ain't doing that. That doesn't mean people condone infidelity. It just means I'm not spending my time tracing down leads like they doing over there, Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's why I'm not watching that show now. Because who wants to be Tisha? Who wants to be around always investigating whose back was that? Was that Marceau's back? That shit is petty. That's why I ain't watching that damn show. I also like that conversation they had with their son, Jason, because that's some real life stuff. That stuff that goes on in families when you have kids and you trying to guide your kids, and sometimes one parent is trying to interject too much of what they want from the kid on the kid, and not letting the kid kind of decide for themselves what they want to be in life. Those were some real conversations. And also I like the part about, even when Jason's trying to figure out what he wants to do, you also got to balance do what you want to do. Is that going to pay some bills? Because you got a lot of kids out here who want to do things, but it don't pay no bills. And then what they want to do is they want to do what they want to do, but then they want mom and daddy to keep paying all the bills. Those are some real conversations that are going on in families. And then I thought it was a real moment, a real good reality TV moment where Ron and them were talking about sort of the things they're talking about when it comes to sex in their 25-year marriage. And I people getting all shocked over the fact that people been married for 25 years, but maybe they've lost a little bit of the luster. I don't know what people think out here, that you could be married for someone for 25 years and you having sex with someone 3-4 times a week for 25 years, and it doesn't cross your mind to maybe think about having sex with another person. I mean, what do you think married people are? You think married people are mummies, that they don't have no desires? Of course they do. Sometimes I watch these shows and people would talk about when was the last time they've been intimate, and some people would say, oh, I've been celibate for 5 years, 6 years. Well, you know what? If you've been celibate that long, or you're only having sex every 6 months, then maybe you don't understand how a person might feel when they've been having sex with the same person 3 and 4 times a week for 25 years. Maybe you don't understand that you may run out of things to do that are interesting in the bedroom. You may not understand that you do have to give it more thought. You may not understand how much work it is keeping sex fun and exciting in long relationships, because you're not testing no new positions out on another man. Single people, y'all get to have sex with whoever you want to. You be coming up with ideas from all different people. I really wish people would stop judging married people who've been married for 10, 15, 20 years when these married people start talking about some of the problems they're having in the bedroom, and then judging the married people. We ain't judging single people when you ain't had sex in 6 months, or you celibate for 5 years, or you run around sleeping with somebody new every other weekend, or people you don't know. I don't understand why we still judging married people over their sex life. And any woman who's been in a live-in boyfriend or married, they all know what that poke from behind is that Arana was talking about, that when you live with a man and sometimes when he want to have sex, all he does is roll over and poke you from behind. We know what that's about, and women all know. We all be saying the same thing. Can we get some romance with this? You ordering it up like it's just a burger from McDonald's. Can you put a little more sugar on that? Can you make it more exciting? These are real conversations, and I really have enjoyed the conversations. So I don't know. We don't need all that other fussing and fighting and drama that be going on in some of these reality TV shows. I'm actually enjoying the conversations, the real conversations these couples are having. Irana talked about her little, she said it was infidelity because she was, entertaining a man via text. because, you know, she wanted a little attention because she was lonely. These are all real moments. These things happen to married women and married men. To me, it's interesting to see people talk about it on camera, because these are often conversations that married people don't share with single people, because you know what? Married people don't want to get judged by it. So I commend these couples for putting it out here like that. They're going to get a lot of ridicule. They're going to get a lot of criticism. I get it, because that's what we do when we watch reality TV shows. But I commend them, because oftentimes married people don't talk about this stuff in public. That's why a lot of people don't have no realistic version of what married life is really like, because oftentimes married people don't open up and tell you what's going on. And just like Irana was talking, and her husband was like, she need to keep that stuff quiet, that's normally what happens. Normally, you don't get an insight to this type of conversations, because married people would just have those conversations either behind closed doors or with a very close-knit couple. But it's, you know what I think? I think it's educational for single people and married people, because single people need to understand these are real life issues in marriage, and because sometimes people be coming into marriage with unrealistic expectations. And if you want to be married for 30, 40 years, I guarantee you, you will be right here where a lot of these women are, and talking about how you keep sex alive, how sex has changed, how, yes, you could get bored with your partner sexually. How many different ways can you do it? How many different places can you have sex? And when Irana was saying, you know, she could understand her husband cheating, it wasn't because she condones cheating. It wasn't because she's blaming herself. What she's saying is, I can understand if you want something and your partner isn't giving it to you. She could understand how it could happen that he would then try to have that with another woman. It's not saying she wants it or she condones it. She could say that I can fathom it. But when you're single, maybe you can't even fathom it happen. Maybe because you're not used to having sex already 3-4 times a week with the same person for 25 years. Maybe when you get there, you can fathom it. Most people out here are only having 1-year relationships. They ain't even with people long enough for the sex to get boring. 1 year, 2 years, that ain't nothing. Try 25 years of having the same sex with the same man. Tell me if you wouldn't be having the same problems that Iran and her man are having. This is common. But anyway, I'm loving this show. I really am enjoying it, so I want to see more. And I really don't need all that stuff that Monique is trying to bring to the show, when she's trying to rile up Chris and all that arguing and bickering. I don't need that. We can find that on a whole lot of reality TV shows. That's part of the problem why a lot of these reality TV shows went down. It happened to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I stopped watching that. It's starting to happen with Potomac, because the more of these women become divorced and single, now all it is about the cattiness of the women fighting. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see a bunch of grown women just fighting each other. Because to me, that ain't reality TV. But anyway, that's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.